You're now watching The Wash Daily. Today news, Poland. Yeah, Poland. So today news, Poland decided they're going to use the number 1% THC in their hemp plants that they'll accept. The reason is hemp plants that are higher than 2 or 3% are very difficult to come across. It's very hard to get your hemp plants to be that low. And now when they're not that low, maybe they're 5.5% or 0.7%. 1% is still a very low number. Hemp plants with 1% THC aren't going to get you high. You're going to have to be you need at least 10% or 9% or 12%. Really, good plants are like 20%. High-end THC is like in the 20s or high teens. So 1% is not doing anything. So it would be really shitty weed, 1% THC. You'd be very disgruntled cannabis user getting THC 1%. You would not be happy. So what they're doing in Poland is saying, hey, 1%, it's not going to, and no one's getting high off 1%, and then we won't have to destroy all the crops. Because what's happening now is if they're growing a plant that has higher than 3% here, some places it's 2%, they have to destroy them all. Well, that number is very low. Why is it so low? Well, it has to do with companies who produce seeds that can produce such a low number of THC. So it's such a difficult thing. It's these companies who want to have a corner on the market, they get that number to be really low, so they're the only ones who can provide those seeds. So that's what's going on. So that's great news. Countries like Thailand and a number of other countries, I think Australia, some parts of Australia are using the 1%. So 1% is a much better number to work with, and the countries who use the 1% number have an advantage because plants that have 1% THC generally have more CBD. Most people who are involved in hemp are actually involved in CBD. So it makes good business sense if we can change legislation to accept 1%. The other thing is it makes hemp a lot easier to grow where you won't be worried about having to destroy all your plants because it's too high or because it's hot. So that's great news in the world of industrial hemp. University of Colorado using cannabis to kill cancer cells. What they're doing is taking cells from a rare form of cancer from dogs and humans. The cannabis is causing the mitochondria of the cancer cells to break down the cell, and the cell starts to fall apart, and the cancer dies. So this is great news. It supports other documented evidence of the same thing. It happened a few years ago in Israel. They're early on in their study, and they're looking at another 15 years to finish up. Hopefully we'll see more people being cured of cancer with cannabis and not dying of chemo. California is expunging records of a lot of people. In California, people's records are becoming expunged. In Santa Clara, California, they're going to expunge about 9,000 cannabis offenses. For 11,000 cannabis offenses are going to be expunged going back to the 60s. It means that people can now apply for jobs who haven't been able to, and they won't have any prior convictions on their record. And it's great news. It has been a long time coming. California passed a law for legal cannabis, and part of that was to make sure they would take care of people who were fallen victim of the previous and failed war on drugs. We need to see expungements happening faster and quickly. As we now know, the real criminals are the ones who put the cannabis users in cages. Thanks for watching The Wash Daily.